this management is facing is basically collection of funds, fee collection. This is one of the hot issues in the school management. So we're talking about whatever a school wants to do for the students and the parents and the nearby vicinity. Maybe we heard about marketing activities, development of the school infrastructure setting. Everything requires funds. And COVID in the last 2 years have created a great havoc. And I just heard Mr. Singh stating that 100% fee he was able to get. So I would like to means really congratulate him, and even 20% of the previous also. So, but I think I have been meeting many schools, managements and associations. So there has been a dearth of fees getting by the schools. So in the last 2 years, there is a lot of issues where parents have not been able to pay the fees on time. And there where we come into the picture, where we are providing the facility of advance fee collection. So we as a company are providing an annual advance fee to the school management in T plus 3 days. So we have a strong, robust platform wherein we are partnered with multiple lending banks. And we basically do is that we provide a dashboard to the school on onboarding. And once that dashboard we provide, so there it's entirely, there is a dashboard where they can generate a payment link and send it to the parents. And on a click of a button, the parents can do the transaction, and in T plus 3 days, we provide that funding to the school itself. So now what happens is we are totally a paperless and contactless uh, loan provider. So parents would just need to enter their mobile number, and that's it. There is nothing much required for that particular thing. So this facility we are providing at a very nominal cost to the school management. So where, let's say, suppose their monthly fees for a school is 10,000 rupees, and 1,20,000 post the minimum deduction charges, will provide the entire amount to the school itself, and we will collect the same on the EMI basis from the parents. So this is the basic flow of things that we provide. We are a RBI compliant company and an ISO 27001 company. So and our lag is minimal, and we have an optimum and best platform where there is no lag for these transactions. So I'll just take you through a live presentation wherein I'll show you how these things and what dashboard we are basically providing to the schools, where you can implement these things in your school. I'll just can you just help? Yeah. ये इसका स्क्रीन वहां पे डिस्प्ले. Okay, so guys, this is just a staging demo, but this will be the exact dashboard that will be given to the schools. Now, the once the school has been onboarded with ShopSay, school will get this interface. Now, here, see, first of all, checking the eligibility of the parent. So now, see, the basic thing is we need to know that who are the people who are eligible for this particular thing. So just to share that we have already a base of 5.5 crore pre-approved eligible candidates who can take the facility from this particular platform. So now, to check from your end, you just need to enter the mobile number, the email ID, and the name. So you can see here. So this is a staging demo, but in the real time situation, you will get a message as an admin that customer is approved for a no cost EMI, and there are two options basically. One is the credit card platform; they can do it through credit card, and one is through pre-approved loan. So both these links are there. So for example, we click on a ShopSe payment link. Now this is where we create a ID. For example, FE1, and we mention the product name as tuition fees. Now here we can include any kinds of fees, tuition fees, may it be transportation charges, development charges, whatever is there. So you can just do a consolidated amount here and you can put it. So once we confirm this, this is the link that we can send to the parent. Now the link has been sent. So this will be sent to the mobile number of the parent. So I am just showing you what the parent will receive. I am clicking it here only. Now this is the interface which the parent will receive, and I'll just show you how simple it is for a parent to process this entire transaction. So here this certain amounts will be pre-filled. The parent need to enter the date of birth. I am just putting in the random right now. Now there will be a verification message that will be coming on the mobile. So now you see here there will be an option basis the banking the mobile number that the parent has put in. So let's say we go for an option of HDFC pre-approved. You click in here and then there will be this option wherein that parent can convert the EMI for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months or so on. So this is basically the school's prerogative to decide on what they want for their parents. Now here let's say we continue. They will be asking for either the card details or the PAN details. And once we confirm this, there will be another verification code that is required. And your parent accepts this. And the transaction is through. Now this is what is required. So now what happens is that post this, it will be coming into your dashboard that the parent has done the transaction. For example, I go transactions and I check the mobile number with mobile number. Now you see this section. So this is just the transaction that has happened right now. So now what happens is that this is the dashboard that you have been you'd be given. So now T plus 3 days, the entire amount will be given to the school in the school's account, whatever the documents have been shared by the school to us. So now this is such a simple process wherein whatever things you are planning to do in the school from the growth perspective, this will give a fire to your growth engine for the schools, because annual advance payment, basically this will give you the leeway into that particular thing. So we basically are providing a solution to the schools for having this challenge resolved, which basically in the last 2 years have been on rampant stage. So now I would request each one of you, whosoever is interested for this particular thing, can go to visit our stall and have a one-on-one presentation whenever you align with our teams, and we can basically help schools to mitigate the challenge that they are facing on the fee fund era. Basically, you can say that. So I would like to thank everybody out here for the wonderful patience. Thanks. Yeah. Okay.
A huge round of applause for Mr. Kamal Gupta. Can we have Preetham sir to please join us on the stage to give away the token of appreciation to Mr. Kamal Gupta? Sir. Can we have a huge round of applause? Moving on, next, I think what we should do is we should have the panel discussion and then we should proceed towards, the industry sessions for the last part of the evening. So without further ado, one of the most important discussions that we're going to have today, we covered, the regular marketing versus old school marketing. We covered the technology in education, the future of technology in education. We covered the early childhood education. I think one of the most prominent uh, schools are now that are taking shapes are the international schools. If you ask all these education technology players out there, they're really interested in reaching out to the international schools. So it is imperative. We thought that we should discuss the changing dynamics of international schools in the country and the future of international schools in India. So, with this amazing panel, I would like to welcome Ms. Anu Monga, who's the founder of Taisi and More. She'll also moderate the session. A huge round of applause. Do we have Ms. Anu Monga? And I'll tell you, we have some stellar panelists in this amazing panel. Dr. Neeru Madhuri Parthi, who's the Director Academics of Aravali International School. A huge round of applause. Dr. Neeru. We also have with us Dr. Amrita Vora, who's the Director Education, GEMS International School. Dr. Amrita Vora. Dr. Neeta Bali, who's the Director and Principal and Head of School GD Goenka World School. Do we have Dr. Neeta Bali here in the panel? Okay. Ms. Sasmita Mohanty, who's the Director of Sanjay Godawat International School. Okay. We have Mr. Daniel Kari, who's the Director and Principals of Vega School. A huge round of applause. I think Vega School is making a lot of buzz these days. A huge round of applause for Vega Schools. Father Thompson Kinney, who's the Principal of St. John's the Baptist High School and Junior College. A huge round of applause, traveling all the way from Mumbai. Ms. Sakshi Sujatia, who's the Director of Neerja Modi School. A huge round of applause for Ms. Sakshi. Are you here with us, ma'am? Dr. Arvind Jha, who's the Director Academics, SCET Maharashtra. Okay, so we had the stellar lineup. I don't know, I think the speakers are maybe a little late or caught up in traffic. Brijesh, sir, would you like to join us for this amazing panel? I would like to invite Dr. Brijesh Karya, who's the CEO of Singhania Education. A huge round of applause for Brijesh Karya ji. I think Quest has, climbed multifold right in front of the eyes, and thanks to all your leadership, it's a success story to be shared with all the education technology players out there, especially the startups. the way Quest has grown in the industry of school education is impeccable. Hats off to you, sir, for your amazing leadership. Now, since we have Anu ma'am only 4 panelists, can we wrap the session up in about half an hour, if that is okay? In any case, if we have any other panelist who is joining in, we can add them in the later, and we can add the timing also according to the panel. I hope that's okay. So, Ms. Anu Munga, please take this session away. A huge round of applause for this amazing session.
Hello, friends. It's lovely to be here. And now things have started non-virtual. So this kind of meeting is also a lot of learning. Networking has been great. I met a few old friends here, colleagues, which we had met earlier in the earlier TIC conferences, Zamit, and other conferences. So it's been so great, and it's lovely to be working and talking to my colleagues. So today is about international education and where in India is international education going. So my first question may be directed to you, sir. First of all, introduce yourself so they know who you are.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Dan Curry, and I'm the director and principal of Vegas School. Before this, I've been in international education in many countries throughout the Middle East, originally from the US. So it's a pleasure to be with you here today.
So, so in regards to India, how would you talk about international education?
Well, there's different ways to look at international education, and it's partly how you define it. So really, international education, does that mean you have an international student body and you're taking advantage of that international group? Or is it really about the curriculum that you're choosing? Is it an international curriculum? What I found is you can have the best of both. So I think here in India, there are, now I'm currently at a CBSE school, but there are many international choices, IB and others, that have the international flavor, international objectives and learning outcomes that don't necessarily need to have an international student body. So you can deliver that in India. It has to do with picking the best of the curriculum, picking the best of the pedagogy, the progressive pedagogies of like problem-based learning, experiential learning, and that's going to come down to having trained teachers who know how to deliver this. I think NEP is heading this direction. So in a sense, this can get Indian international schools and Indian national schools on the same path, the same journey as other international schools who just happen to be have a variety of of enrollment. I think there's a lot of opportunity here to see those same approaches and to see those the same structures in international education. For private schools, it comes down to having a tuition that's accessible. And international education typically has higher tuition because they maybe have international staff, they have higher costs. So how do we maximize that? I think if the international community, school community in India can fine tune that and figure out where's that sweet spot, I think there's a lot of potential growth.
Yeah, that's great. But the thing is that in India also we have great teachers who can teach the international curriculum eyes closed. We have very fine teachers here, and this is what we see all over the world, the disparity. I hope you don't mind me talking about it. It's just that our serious schools who are international minded are doing great jobs. And could you kind of define what international mindedness is, sir?
Right. Myself, my name is Father Thompson Kinney, and I'm principal of St. John the Baptist High School and Junior College. I'm affiliated to the Archdiocesan Board of Education, and at present, we have 165 state board schools, But His Eminence Cardinal Oswald Gracious has also started international school, claiming that children are also well adhere to what the new system is and also being in tune with the others. So we are also at our level have started with international school, and for me, international school means at the same time curriculum which gets more deeper and at the same time a greater understanding of what concepts are.
So international, thank you, sir. International schools, we'll come back again because we are just three of us. Also, now when they talk about, even in India, a CBC, ICSE international school, when they develop the culture of diversity, that is very important in the international mindedness of a school. So how would you define that?
So basically, what I've noticed is now one thing is the aspirational value of Indians of late in the last 5 years has gone up extremely high, and that's why you will see more and more international schools coming up. The beauty of these schools is when I've been to a lot of international schools for doing sessions, I've seen children from various walks of life coming into these particular schools, and trying to basically, as I said, share their values, share their ideas. They come from different cultural backgrounds. And that's what I've noticed. And that is why when you see people from different walks of life coming together, interacting, it becomes a melting pot of culture of sorts.
Yeah.
So basically, the culture that you have in Dubai schools, international schools, slowly of late, you're seeing that in India as well, because there are so many expats living in India now. And their children are going to international schools and mingling with the Indian children, getting to know their culture, getting to understand each other better. That is one. Second, there are a lot of teacher exchange programs happening in these international schools as well, because we run our own school, Singania International School. So we have teachers coming from Denmark, Netherlands, coming to teach our school for a month's time. They stay with our teachers in their families. They get to know the Indian culture very well. So I think that is how we are trying to address diversity,
Yes.
through a mix of various teachers who are trained internationally coming to our school and vice versa as well.
Yeah. So a question for you, sir, now is a lot of schools, whether international or non-international, talk about helping the kids with learning needs. And just want to know if you're doing anything with the learning need kids. As a CBSE school, you're a CBSE school, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Hmm.
Yes, I think it's important, and certainly someone who's come from a background of schools that always had a special education
Yeah.
department, students with special needs, it's important that we incorporate that into what we do. And so at Vega, we do have a special needs program, and I think it's needed, it's necessary. I think there's not a lot of options for some parents. So the key here is inclusion, though. In any setting, it's going to require our special education teachers to connect with our classroom teachers, to train them on the right approaches, and to come together as a team. We want our students to be as fully included as possible. So to the maximum extent that they're able, they're doing everything that our classroom kids are doing. They're part of all the activities. They're learning the social emotional skills. And I think any school is able to do that. Now, some international schools they're international associations for students with special needs, for schools to get together and share the same kind of sharing you're talking about. There are conferences, it's a global look at that. And I think that's what we can be doing.
So again to you, sir. Since you are now, which curriculum were you with when you were overseas?
It was actually American curriculum.
Okay.
Was my last
With the
school.
APs?
Yeah, in the UAE.
Okay.
Yes.
So now, when it comes to that curriculum and the CBSE curriculum, what would you say the pros and cons of both?
Yes, that's a great question, and what I see, it's the what versus the how. So in international curriculum, typically they're just as much focused on how the delivery is done, the pedagogy. If you really look internationally, whether it's American curriculum, British curriculum, what I found here in CBSE, what we expect a child to know, for example, in first grade, does not change that much around the world, right? We know what a first grader is capable of doing and understanding. And so it's not so much, the variety of the objectives in CBSE and the curriculum. They align pretty well. Now, some areas may focus a little more on math and science. Some may really emphasize some other things. But I've been pleasantly, my experience has been pleasant in that the CBSE curriculum and the international curriculum that I've worked in before have a lot of similarities. The difference is the traditional delivery versus the progressive delivery. And I think most international schools are focused on what are the best pedagogies that we can apply here. What's the international standard for these teaching approaches?
So the next question to you, sir, is that since you are state school, am I right?
Yes.
So now I see a lot of improvement in that side at state schools. A lot is happening. And now, my question is yes, I understand because I'm versed with both CBSE, IB, A levels, Cambridge. So I've been all there. But there's such some very good points which your syllabus offers, which I don't see in the international school. So, how would you sort of deliver something nice about what you all are doing to the international schools?
In our state school, we also follow the continuous comprehensive evaluation, and these are the different evaluation tools which we follow, and that enhances also getting the child to be more goal oriented and activity based also. So not only like a rote learner, but at the same time, whatever concepts have been done, they are put into practice by giving them certain assignments and activity to be done.
All right. A question for you, sir,
Yes, ma'am.
is how would you define rooted in India and respecting the cultures of the world?
Right. So basically, I think this is a fantastic question in line with the NEP. So this is where I would like to draw certain points of NEP. So the NEP, if you've gone through, is very, very India centric. They're saying the curriculum, while it is going to be centered around India, it wants to give international exposure to the students. And that's how the NEP has been defined very beautifully in two terms. One is, as far as the knowledge is concerned, it'll be more about the history of India, the culture of India, the practices of India. For example, I come from Bombay. If you see the recent books that have been designed, it talks about who was the first Marathi movie director, who was the first person who did theater in Maharashtra. These kind of chapters have started coming into the curriculum. At the same time, which are the international movie directors? What are the international practices that are happening in theater or drama which can be brought into India? So I think if we do a very interesting mix of curriculum which talks about India, at the same time, certain project-based learning or activity-based learning, which gives them exposure to international practices, international standards. For example, the months that you have in schools, which is a fantastic practice. You get an international kind of an exposure sitting at a school as to how does a world body function. So I think if we could bring more and more such practices, that will give them the global exposure on how the world operates, whereas the knowledge is definitely rooted in India. So I think the designing of the curriculum in line with the NEP is where the secret lies, I feel.
Yeah, thanks. Now, you see, what's happening is a lot of schools may want to turn into IB if they want to go towards that or Cambridge. But the problem is the affordability. It's a very, very expensive program, and I've been talking to IB. You see what's happened in the other parts of the world. The government takes on to look after the IB. Like in America, each county has different people. So I would love that we could convert something of international education into our local systems.
Absolutely.
Because we also have a lot to share with them, and likewise.
Right.
So I personally feel that when I meet some of these people who have this edge on their shoulders about international schools, okay, I just feel that, look back. All the CEOs in Europe and America are all from your CBSE, right? So I'm sure CBSE does teach you something.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes.
That's a brilliant point.
Yes, it does teach you. And I was at Cambridge and we did some evaluation. So the toppers in Cambridge are all from the CBSE background. The problem is because as international schools, we cater to everything. But some of these high level schools want analytical answers. So that's where they come down in interviews. So I would say if we cannot afford international education, you can drive it into your own curriculum. Like there's a school in Hyderabad. I worked with that school. They're doing the CBSE, but I taught them in the PYP way. So project learning has become very important in all spaces of education. So do you do something like that, sir, in your school since you have both curriculums?
Yes, we use problem-based learning, which is a term that kind of encompasses the project-based, experiential, inquiry-based. And again, it's an approach, we use the CBSE objectives and standards, and it's how we deliver it, making sure our students are engaged and they're actively, active in their education. It's student centric. And I think you had a good point in the U.S. Most IB schools that have made their way into the U.S. are in public government schools where they have they don't charge, it's free. So they have to budget for the IB costs just as part of their budget, but students have full access. Here we have, in other countries, like in the UAE, we have a lot of private schools. And then there's choice between, British, Canadian, American, IB, private schools. But, so it comes down to how do we create the best practices that IB offers. IB has a great system and it is expensive, but there's nothing that they do for the most part that's not something anyone can do, which is good educational practices, hands-on activities, real-world application, critical thinking, all the things that we try to accomplish in all of our schools. And so it's coming up with a framework. I think NEP is pointing us that direction, right? Where we're doing that as a framework without having to pay the premium of being an official IB school.
Yeah, but now if you look at MYP in the IB and what NEP is doing, it really sort of connects
Synchronizing,
now, it
absolutely.
lines. So this is what I'm talking and trying to get some help from the government. If they can help take on some schools, academically doing well, they have the creativity with them, that they could help them self-support their IB schools. I don't know how far we'll reach, but like you heard, the Delhi state has already started PYP schools, and that support is all from the Delhi state. How far it goes, I cannot say. But our teachers are brilliant, our students are brilliant. Wherever they go, they're toppers, most of the time. So I really like the system if we can change our curriculum in a more international way. That's what I can end it with.
Absolutely perfect.
I was quick, wasn't I?
Any questions from the crowd? Anyone? Sir, question, please. You can ask a question.
Now Sandeep has all the time on his hands.
No, I don't.
I'm just
we
joking.
we can recover the lost time. We want to be the first conference that starts on time and ends on time.
Wow.
So
Definitely.
in
Lovely.
education, we have all wanted our students to enter at sharp 8 a.m. and we always start our conferences at least 2 hours after the timing is mentioned. So we want to change that at Universal Mentors Association. So that is a trend that we want to break. Any questions? Once again, I'll ask. Yeah, sure. Can we have the mic?
We want our students to come in time, but we guys are never in time.
Thank you. So that's where it begins, being so inquisitive to know more, and that is what happens in my school also with my students. Given to understand, the discussions have been really wonderful, especially the way that ma'am has given those questions and the way the answers have come. Now, when we look at the international and the Indian system, and we know very well that the Indians have been doing extremely well across the globe, with the NEP and the limitations that we had in our system have now been removed by the NEP. So my question basically is the future of international schools now in India. Are there still any prospects for them to flourish, or that is going to be the end of them and NEP is going to take over?
No, I'll answer, then I'll leave it to you
Sure.
guys. See, now I won't say it's tarnished. You see that Harrow's coming into India with collaboration with Pune, with Bangalore and Amity. I think we have one of the Amity colleagues here. Then you have one in Pune with Lincoln College. Dulwich is coming in. And now Edmonston is going to be coming in. But these will be very, very high flying fees, right? But what you say, yes, there could be a time that NEP takes over. But it'll take some time. We still need to handhold the teachers, help in their technology, but it will come. After all, if you look back, hundreds of years ago, we were the top in education. The Gurukul
The
system.
time is not far. We're going to be back again.
Yes, you're right. We are
With
all getting back.
With the national education policy, and if it really is implemented in spirit.
Yeah, because now people talked about this forest education. What were we doing before? The same thing, right?
True.
And kids were understanding biology by looking at the plants and things. So it's the same thing, and I'm sure in a few years we'll be topping the world.
Surprisingly, I had started the Gurukul system for grade 9, 10, 11, and 12.
Uh-huh.
And it was basically because I was heading a community-based school, and financial capabilities were far lower for parents to handle and go for tutorials and so on. So we began this Gurukul system, and we had kids coming to school and spending their time, the evenings, the night, stay over, and it really helped a lot.
Yeah.
And there was nothing called as where the individuals were taught or tutored. Basically, the environment that was created, and the learner found his or her own way of trying to get to the problem and sort them out on their own. So it was student driven, and it worked wonderful.
Yeah, so just to practically answer your question, sir, international schools are not going anywhere. They are here to stay. In fact, you will find them increasing in number in the years to come. Because to be very honest, I've done a very extensive study on the NEP. I'd like to share, sir, in India today, there are 25 crore students, 15 lakh plus schools, and 89 lakh plus teachers. So I have a simple question to the audience. If you were the education minister of India, you think 89 lakh teachers can be trained in 1 year? Not possible. And that's why NEP itself has given a 10-year roadmap, that by the time it is implemented in letter and in spirit, it is going to be a 10-year span. Secondly, sir, if you notice the past 10 years, the aspirational values of Indians are getting higher and higher. You will find majority of number of students going abroad for studies. In fact, we have 110 students in Singhania IB school. 92 have gone abroad for studies post grade 12. So that's the kind of outflow that we are seeing in terms of going abroad for studies. Plus, I would just like to give you a small data point, sir. 10 years back, Maharashtra did not have even 25 IGCSE schools. As of today, it has 100 plus IGCSE schools. So it's only growing by the day. Practically, to answer your question, while Indian schools may improve, you'll see the NEP coming, a lot of fantastic things are going to happen. But in India, it's never going to be this or that. It will always be this and that. Both will coexist because there's a huge audience and huge paying capacity as far as that particular niche is concerned. So that will continue for sure.
True. I was the fourth school of IB school at Indore.
Oh, lovely. Fantastic.
And I've seen the growth of IBs across the country now.
Fantastic. So you know the answer, sir. Thank you so much.
A huge round of applause for such an amazing panel.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I think Anu ma'am might have an announcement to make regarding her Goa event. We would give you a...
I don't know if Jyoti is here. Maybe I can call her in. Should we call Jyoti?
You can do it.
It's just that about, like we're now discussing about IB, the costs. About 16 years ago, I'd gone to Perth to IB conference, and I saw that there were not many Indians there. And now, of course, lots are going. And I had a long wait in Singapore. So that's where I derived. I thought, and I said, I want to start the International Association of India to cater to our Indian international schools. And that's where I started. And now we're working with IB schools, CBSE schools, A-level schools, and also ISC schools and state schools. So we are basically training. We are working with kids. In 6 months, we'll have a student-led conference, which if all of you are part of, become members, at IC board, at IC table is there. And our next conference is in Goa, and it's 1st, 2nd, 3rd September. And before that, there are 2 IB workshops, one on the leadership and one on CP. As you know, CP is a career program started by the IB, but now a lot of CBSE schools are taking it just a 2-year program. So it would be interesting, and there's a lot one can learn from each other. I tell you, the best part is the networking. We work with our colleagues. So I don't feel anybody should have a chip on their shoulders. We are all educators and we all need to work together to strive and work for this country, whatever it may be. So I know another thing I'm fighting is the the salary. No, sorry. It's the salary versus expats in Indian. It is, it's not right. I'm sure the expats don't like it, but that's what's happening in this country. So that's also I'm fighting for that, for our country, that we have great educators. That's all I can say. Yeah. So I would just end with that every child listens to a different drummer. Yeah. And we all have to change. And if we don't change, we'll become casualty of that change. That's how I'll end it.
A huge round of applause. And we would also like to mention, ma'am, the Universal Mentors Association
Yes,
association with the TIC for
We are
the upcoming
collaborating. Yes.
conferences and many other things. You would be seeing a lot of other positive, activities that we'd be doing in the space of technology, in the space of
So can you talk a
education
bit about the
outreaches.
technology right now so people know what we will be
Sure.
doing?
So we are again, as promised, that we are coming up with a unique platform called Technology Review, where we'll be reviewing various technology on education depending on their category, whether it is LMS, ERP, or any other kind of an activity, any other kind of a solution. And few of these uh, technology providers will get the opportunity to pass through a technical review that will be created by TIC and Universal Mentors Association. If these technology providers pass through those, technical committee, they get a TIC certification on their education technology products, which means that they would be, directly be promoted to the TIC members. They would get the authentication that these are the genuine service providers in the education space, which will be very, very, niche, and it will be one of its kinds. A huge round of applause for the idea. I think the Universal Mentors Association and TIC, alongside with Brain Wonder, is going to be a huge, huge prospect to in the few days to come. You would see a lot of things happening, a lot of positive things happening. A huge round of applause for this amazing panel. I would now like to call on the dais once again Mr. Manish Naidu to join us to felicitate this amazing panel. Ms. Anu Monga, who is the founder, TIC and more, also one of the most amazing moderators that we have seen. A huge round of applause. Father Thompson Kinney, Principal St. John's the Baptist High School and Junior College. Mr. Daniel Kari, Director and Principal, Vega Schools. A huge round of applause. And Mr. Brajesh Karya and Dr. Brajesh Karya, who is the CEO of Singhani Education. A huge round of applause for Dr. Brajesh Karya. So before we move ahead, can we have a group picture, please? So before we move ahead towards next industry session, we would like to welcome Shri Anjul Agarwal ji, who's the founder of Delhi Public School HRIT, and Miss Vaishali Agarwal, who's the MD of Delhi Public School HRIT campus. Can we have you all on the stage, ma'am? And sir, a huge round of applause. Manisha, we would like to welcome our special guest for the evening. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, sir, just one last award before we go ahead with the next industry session. The award for the preschool of the year goes to Hello Kids. A huge round of applause for the tremendous expansion of Hello Kids across India, Mr. Preetham. Right. So now we have a lot of industry presentations. A lot of technology players will be joining us before we go on to our, the most amazing Principal of the Year Award 2022. We have with us Mr. Mikin, founder Logic Kids. A huge round of applause for Mr. Mikin to join us for the amazing session from Logic Kids.
Can we have the presentation? Hi, everyone. A very, very good afternoon to all of you. It's an amazing pleasure to be here in front of so many leading educators. I mean, I, for one, am somebody who really believes that education and educators have the power to change the world. Uh, I want to start with a small story. Uh, kind of going back 1994, sometime in April, there was a kid who had just collected his seventh grade mark sheet from his school. And, while he was collecting that mark sheet from school, it so happened that one of his maths teacher, who was his fifth grade maths teacher, just saw him and asked him to show the mark sheet to him. Unfortunately, the kid had scored about 40 marks out of 100 in math. And the teacher was very shocked. uh, he took it upon himself, right, to kind of work with that kid, help him do better in math. And fast forward 2007, that kid cracked IIT, cracked IIM Cal, went out to take the highest paying job from IIM Calcutta campus. Right? I think
that story which I'm talking about is of no one else, but it's me. I am that kid who was there, and Godrej sir, as I fondly call him Godi sir, was my fifth standard primary teacher, right? So instead of labeling me or let my parents or the society label me as an average kid in math, he actually saw that spark in me, which completely changed my career, my future, right? I mean, he not just helped me work on math, he's a person who kind of gave me a lot of confidence. I mean, if you would have met me in 2004, 2006, I couldn't speak a sentence without stammering for 5 times, right? I think I attribute a lot of my development to that teacher, and I think he is one reason why in 2016 I kind of quit my corporate job. I was a director with Bank of America as an investment banker. I quit that job to start Logic Kids. This is something which kind of again took shape in my discussion with Godi sir when we met again, and he said, "Why don't you kind of do something which is very close to your heart?" So yeah, here I am. We started Logic Kids in 2016. Uh, Logic Kids is basically a technology-backed venture, but I won't say it's about tech. It's basically about developing logic and aptitude in kids. Again, the way my maths teacher got me kind of involved in maths or helped me develop interest in these subjects was he presented to me a lot of puzzles, brain teasers, right? In math, we would not focus on formulae. He would focus on helping me develop a proof for something. Okay, that's what I really found very interesting because it used to help me exercise my brain. And gradually it evolved into puzzles, brain teasers, and so on. And that is what we do at Logic Kids. We basically work with K9 kids, KG to 9, to help develop logic and critical thinking skills in them. Uh, and we do this in a completely free of cost way. There are no hidden costs here. I'll come and explain how we do that. We currently work with close to 1,200 schools across India, Dubai, Singapore, and we continue to offer our program free of cost year after year. Uh, there are a lot of slides here. I'll not bore you with the fact that why logic is required. I'm sure most of us understand that logic is probably the most integral part of any subject, anything we do in life today. I mean, it's very surprising that there are a lot of K-12 camps and teachers wearing white hats who charge people 30,000, 40,000 rupees to teach them coding when the crux of that coding is logic, right? So I think that is what we want to do, that okay, build on your logic and the rest everything will be taken care of. It's of course a very critical skill set. I won't bore you with how the world is changing and why this is important. Okay, I think till they get the presentation on. So yeah, that's what we essentially work on. We have 3 programs which we do essentially. One is called an aptitude development program. Second is called a mental aptitude Olympiad. The third is a teacher training workshop. All the 3 programs are given out completely free of cost. So basically, we have an app and a website called logickids.com and Logic Kids app. The way it works is that in the aptitude development program, we give out certain number of worksheets free to every child in the school. These can be solved on the website or the app. The reason it is done online, we don't provide hard copies, is because this is completely personalized to the kid, right? So the way it works is it is exactly like chess. In chess, you have an ELO rating. So depending on how you perform, your opponent changes and your rating changes. It's exactly how these worksheets change as well. So this is basically how the Logic Kids aptitude development program works. I'll just skip all of this in the interest of time. Second is the mental aptitude Olympiad. Now, what happened is when we started giving out worksheets free of cost, we realized unfortunately something which is given free is not at times valued by parents. And of course, this is something which the kids do at home. We share detailed reports with you. So we said, okay, how do we make sure the kid at least exposes themselves to such questions every year? So that is when we started the mental aptitude Olympiad. This is another Olympiad, but it is not like SOF or somebody else where they focus on ACADS. Our questions have 0 ACADS. Okay, so this is only puzzles, brain teasers. And we do an Olympiad. It has 2 stages. The first stage of the Olympiad happens in November. Final stage happens in Feb, March. About 30% students qualify for the final stage. The first stage of the Olympiad is also offered free of cost year after year. We have enough schools with, we can give you reference checks where we have been working for the last 4 or 5 years and we have never charged a rupee from them. The final stage in this entire slide, the final stage of the Olympiad, which is an optional Olympiad, is the only piece which is optional and chargeable. We charge 499 rupees per child for that, and that's optional, right? So even if I get zero enrollment from your school, we will continue to offer the first stage of Olympiad free of cost, right? And the reason we charge final stage as chargeable is that helps us recover the cost, right? I mean, I don't want to compromise on the quality of what we do. So this works as a win-win for school because you can expose kids to this skill set year after year. This is a skill set which is, given a lot of importance in NEP as well. And it works, it helps us, the final stage helps us cover the cost. We do workshops as well. There are no charges for teacher workshops. So if there's any school who wants to incorporate, there are schools who have math clubs, who have puzzle clubs. If they want to incorporate something like this in their school curriculum, we'd be very happy to do workshops for your teachers, and we don't charge for that as well. Yeah, I mean, our entire program is certified and partnered with TechFest IIT Bombay. So every kid who participates in this gets a certificate from TechFest IIT Bombay as well. Before we kind of go deeper, these are some of the questions. I'll give you an idea of what really I'm talking about, right? So logic, we believe, is a way of thinking, right? I mean, it's an approach to how do you kind of break down a problem? How do you process a problem? You come across a lot of unstructured problems in your life. Can you find a structure in that problem and understand how do I break it down piece by piece and solve it? That is essentially what we focus on. If you ask me the skill sets, we focus on problem solving ability, which is, giving a structure to unstructured problem, memory and concentration, numerical ability, verbal ability, and visual ability. We have actually put out a booklet on most of the tables. We have a stall outside. You can actually collect the booklet. This is like a problem for grade 1 or senior KG. You have introduced them to numbers, right? Give them a problem like this and ask them, okay, can you tell me what will come next? Can a child make out the pattern? Where will 6 come? Yes, there is a 6 which will come next, but can you make out the pattern? Where will 6 come? Okay, this is how we start with, and some people tell us this is very difficult for senior KG grade 1. Trust me, the moment you introduce them to this, they pick it up super fast. As you go higher, this is another problem, again, an unstructured way. This is one of my favorite problems. This is class 8, class 9. So as you can see, right, even as you go higher, we don't ask anything academic. This is a tic-tac-toe board. I mean, I think at some point of time, all of us have played tic-tac-toe. The question asked, this is the board. Who is going to win this game? If you see, I can have 3 knots in a line. I can have 3 zeros in a line, right? So 3 crosses and 3 knots. Who is going to win this game, right? A very, very unstructured problem, right? How do you really solve something like this? When you give something like this to a child, he doesn't know. There is no formula. I can't apply a Pythagoras theorem or Newton's law to this to solve this, right? How do I really go back? So this is where we make them go back to the drawing board and see, okay, you need to find out who will play the next move. How do you do that, right? You need to go back and see, okay, who played the last move? Who played the last move? And when you want to find out, how do I find out who played the last move? You check each of the moves and tell me who actually played the last move. Okay, I think the pointer is not working. But let's say if you see A1, can A1 be the last move which was played before this game? It cannot be, because if you were playing a cross, will you put a cross at A1 or will you block knots and put it at B2? Right? So that is how the child needs to go and analyze each and every step. And then the child will realize that basically C3, the cross at C3 was the last step which was played in this game. And because it was a cross, that means knot will play next and 0 is who is going to win the game. Right? So this is an example of the kind of questions we do and how, even in a very unstructured way, we can figure out a structure and figure out how to solve this. Now, this approach takes time to build, right? I can't build it overnight because there is no prescribed formula to apply. So you need to expose kids over years, year after year, to build this. And trust me, if you ask me, this is something which has helped me the most. This is something which I do with my son, right? And amazing results we see, right? I mean, he has just gone to grade 8. Even if he has an exam tomorrow, if he has 2 exams tomorrow, he never misses a soccer session. He goes for 4 hours every day, soccer practice. Even in his exams, he doesn't miss. The reason is because this approach built into him from the kindergarten has always developed a way where he balances things, he understands things and doesn't rote learn. So it is not something, well, that this is not academics, but this will show you results across academics as well. So yeah, that's essentially what we do. This was a small study which we did with a group of schools we work with in Gujarat. These were the results, but I personally don't ever believe in these projects because these results are in a very, very small group. If you really ask me what am I trying to achieve through this program, this is what we are trying to achieve through the program. Right? We don't want chaturs in this world, right? We don't want people to rote learn the definition of what a machine is. There's no point. If you teach a child wavelengths, let him understand what is the implication of wavelengths in life. If you teach a child that heat is a poor conductor of air, let him understand that why coffee served outside in the restaurant is served with froth on top of it, because froth is air pockets. Air is a poor conductor that keeps the coffee hot for a longer period of time. Right? So let him understand the relevance of what he's doing. Let him understand the logic. Let him figure out the solution to himself. Build an independent learner who can learn on his own as well. So yeah, this is the real outcome what we try to do. Yeah, I will kind of skip this. Yes, we work with close to 1,200 schools. More than 94% of the schools continue with us year after year. This continues to be free year after year. Uh, I don't have a lot of schools from Delhi here. This was actually a presentation we used. Oh yeah, now we have some of the Delhi NCR schools here. We work with the GEMS World Academy, GEMS Modern Academy in Dubai as well, the GEMS group. A lot of them. We are very keen to expand to, a lot of tier 1, tier 2 towns as well. So far, we have been very restricted to metros because we are all based out of Bombay. We travel, meet schools and expand. We would love, if you would want to roll this out, if you would have a principal whom you know who would want to roll this out, please feel free to drop us a text. It's a hassle-free process. For the Olympiad also, there's no form collection. There's no fee collection. We take care of all the issues. We have a help desk who will address all the queries which a parent has. So it's a hassle-free process for everybody. Yeah, that's it. We are outside. These are our, people who are there. You could note down the contact numbers. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much for being a patient listener. And once again, kudos to all of you. I have really experienced how a teacher can impact somebody's life. Kudos to all of you educators.
Thank you so much, sir. I would now call Ms. Seema Negi ma'am to please join us on the stage and, felicitate Mr. Mikin for his amazing presentation. Thank you so much for Logic Kids for being our bronze partner for this amazing summit. Can we have the speaker memento and the felicitation book, please? A huge round of applause. So we are just 20 minutes away before we start our Principal of the Year award. Now we quickly move on to our next presentation by Mr. Manish Naidu, founder Brain Wonders, on doing the amazing DMIT assessments. A huge round of applause for Mr. Manish Naidu for being the powered by partners for the Universal Mentors Association. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Sandeep. Thank you, Sandeep. Can I have the mic, follow mic? I think there's a book which is distributed, which is called Gratitude. So I think I should have a deep sense of gratitude to Mr. Sandeep to have given me this opportunity to speak. So clap, I would definitely clap for him, so would the others. I would, it's a very interesting session. Do you want it interactive? How many of us want it interactive? Okay. How many of you would want to move out of your, then enjoy the show? Great. So let's move it. My name is Manish Naidu. I run a firm called Brain Wonders. We have 108 centers in the country. Started in 2010 for the quest to identify what my child's innate potential is when she was 2 years old. I never knew whether it should be a Glenn Doman method, Maria Montessori method, left and right. Multiple intelligence was just coming in the year 2010. And the quest realized me to understand that knowing my child is so very important because you know what is the toughest job in this world? Sorry? Being a parent. Parenting doesn't come with any manual, each on their own. How do we make this life simpler? How do we make anxious parents like me, first timers like me, understand that the child's innate potential, understand the child being happy is so very important to us. So the quest for that made me land in Taiwan. I met this wonderful genetic intelligence professor, scientist, who stated that biometric scans, fingerprints can tell you the genetic potential. I said, wow, is it possible? I said, yes. So I'll give you a short story about how it works. What we do is we take fingerprints. Why fingerprints? Fingerprints is very unique. No two fingerprints are ever the same. Fingerprint is last to be degenerated from a decomposed body. Fingerprints gives you a genetic intelligence. How many of you have attended my session earlier on? Great. So I think you are my brand ambassadors. The definition of career counseling. These are few of our associations, ECA, MISA, NISA, SIC would probably come on board now soon. And these are the associations which has recognized our effort. Few marketing slides, okay, self-centered. I'll just skip it. These are clientele. I'll skip it through. Okay, now this is an age-old debate. I would like it's an age-old debate. Nature or nature? What comes first? Does nature come first or nurture come first? Come on. What is more important? Come on. I mean, my favorite last benchers like me. What is more important? Okay. Now this is a very important slide which I'll play in. Okay. Take a snapshot. I know the innate potential of the child. I know the interest, but the exposure is not being given by the parents or by the school. The talent remains hidden. I don't know the innate potential. The interest is there, but there's no exposure. The child is unhappy. The innate potential is there. Interest, probably we know. The exposure isn't there. It's a partial growth. The best is when we identify the genetic intelligence of the child, the interest is also there, and then there is an exposure. There's a book written by Malcolm Gladwin. It's called Outliers. I do not know how many have read it. It says 10,000 hours is the difference between a normal child and a prodigy, and you do not have to expose it completely. You just give the innate potential a push and it works in. These are the few things which makes a person. The left and right brain dominance, the learning style, strengths, weakness, characteristics, and obviously career introspection. Out of which personality is very important. How many of you know 16 PI? There are 16 personality indexes in the country, in the whole world. We'll play a small game and we'll understand the personality. Okay. Now, how many of you have this? Anyone who don't have, please raise your hands. Sejal ma'am, just give it across. Now, what you have to do is very carefully. How many fingers do we have? How many fingers do we have? 8. It's a trap question. My wife plays it all around trap. How many fingers do we have? 8. So Noel is saying 10. Come on, let's be proactive. I'll tell you what, you'll enjoy the session. How many fingers? 8. And then what happens to the rest two? Thumb, okay. Sometimes we complicate everything. So 10 fingers, out of which 2 are called thumb, the rest 2 are called index fingers or pointing fingers, the rest is called, okay. So you have 10 fingers, and the brain is divided into 2 lobes, left and right. Now I'll show you how the lobes works, okay. Why don't you all just stand up? Yeah, okay. The brain is divided into 2 halves, okay, left and right. The left brain is connected to the right side of the finger, the right is connected to the left side. So let's just flex your arms without hitting each other. Khana mein beech mein aa gaya. We don't want to do that. The brain is further divided into 5 lobes. Which are those? The ones who had attended the session earlier. Which are those? Pre. The thumb is connected to the pre. Index is connected to the post. Chalo, let's do it. Pre. Post. Middle is parietal. What do you call it? The ring finger is temporal. And the pinky finger is occipital. Wonderful. The left is connected to the right, right is connected. So when you sit for a dhyan, you sit like this. Pre, post. So let's identify one's potential on the basis of your thumb. You have exactly 3 minutes because that is what Sandeep has given me. You have to see which of these fingerprints you have. Sit, 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 sit. You're so disciplined. And please do check your thumb and let us know which fingerprint you have. It could be a vole, it could be an ulnar, it could be an arc, it could be a radial. Your time starts now. Rajnish, take the fingerprint. Rajnish, give that to him. Yeah. You all have this. The ones who don't have, please let me know and we'll give it across. We have our team of psychologists who would just let you know which is your fingerprint pattern. Keep your torchlights on. Oh, okay, I forgot. Just keep your torchlights on so that it's easier for us to identify. If you have a vole and an ulnar, or if you have a vole and an arc, and if you have a vole and a radial, you are a vole. You don't have what? Fingers? Oh. Fingerprints and retina, two things which never change. That's why when you go for an Aadhaar, you have this fingerprints and retina scan. If you have a vole and an ulnar, you have to click on a vole. I'll let you know why. We have people who just check across, yeah? And also check the index. If in the index you have radial, you will have to. Tell me, just check the fingerprint. Give it to Abhishek. We're short on time. I am here. Anyone needs my help? Click on arc. Arc and radials, just click on arc and radial in case you find one. Sorry? Both vole. It's a vole. It's a vole. Anyone needs my help? Vole. What does Anu ma'am have? Are you sure? Oh, you're a secret. There are different index personality traits. People say it is nepotism, but I feel it is genetic. if there is one person who takes care of the other in the generation, it is because the hidden talents or the genetic intelligence is being transferred. That's how it works. Are we done? Have you clicked? If it's a vowel and an ulnar, you click on a vowel. But if in case you get an arc or a radial, please click on an arc or a radial. See that there is a ma'am out there on the right. In the meanwhile, I'll just tell you, fingerprints are formed here on the 13th week to the 21st week. And nowadays, you have this anomaly scan, which happens in where you could identify Down syndrome and mentally retarded children right at the time when the child is in the mother's womb. Done? Should we move ahead? Anyone pending? You can put your lights on. I'll just show it. Your light on? Show it to me. Just show the. You click on arc. Arc. You've done? Show the camera. Everyone done? एक बार. When do you want the results? Today or the next event when Sandeep does it? But I think Sandeep won't give us time. We'll have to postpone it for the next time, okay? I don't hear the voice. Cool. How many of us wants the results now? All of you. Okay. Now there would be a very interesting battle between 4 sets of fingerprint types. You'll have to keep the light. Acha, you don't have. Can anyone just? No, I don't. Whole. Now the world is divided into 16 different personality index, which is also divided into 4 different types of fingerprint patterns. Vole, ulnar, arc, radial. This is genetic. Which one do you want? The one which I hear the loudest will be called up. Vole, ulnar, arc, radial. Once more. Vole, I hear vole. Okay, all the voles just stand up. Come on the stage. Come fast. ये कहाँ है? So many voles. Oh boy. Come. नहीं आप आ गए हो तो आप बोलियो. What do you think the vole fingerprints might be? What do you think your personality traits be? Come up. Sorry? Vole wins the world, huh? Come up. So I'll tell you what. Voles, थोड़ा पीछे हो जाइए. Voles are only 15% of the world population. How many? Yes, but you see here there are more than 15. So just tell your traits so that I do not have to repeat it. What's your traits? 15. Strong. Okay. Aggressive. Leaders. ऊपर है जी. अरे कुछ तो छोड़ो उनके लिए. नहीं छोड़ेंगे. I need the determined. Perfectionist. Wait. You can't take off all. That is what they are. They are ambitious. They're egocentric. They are stubborn. They are either my way or the highway. They are the ones who rule the world. 10 or 15%. But because this is Delhi and we have everybody, they are the ones. I just need the egocentric is a yeah. We'll have to. It's a negative word for them because Ego with a positive sense is a very positive word. Can I have just a... So yes, you're the guys who are 10 or 15% of the world population. Can we just move the next slide? Is it possible? वो आ जाता है उसके बाद. There's nothing kindness. ठीक है? Now they'll just put, they are obviously, they'll, no, we need a whole. We need the earlier one. We need the whole. Yes. They want strong personality. They're ambitious. They seek logic. Logic has to be strong. That is what they are. I stand corrected. The egocentric is placed with high logic. That's how we have corrected it. Clap for yourselves. You have 12 volts. It's brilliant. Now we have that sect which I personally love. It's called Alnar. Can the Alnars come on the field? We'll talk. The Alnars. Come in, the Alnars. आ जाओ यार Alnar. Thank you. Sandeep ji, did I keep my क्या कहते हैं उसको remote? Alnar. 2 minutes. Alnar has 85% of the world population. Come fast, come fast. They are not being heard by the wolves at all. They are loyal. आ जाइए ऊपर. They are loyal. They are hardworking. They are inspired. The wolves try to crush them, but they work silently. Wolves इतने ज़्यादा थे, फिर भी come on the stage. Come on the stage. They are the best. Is what's your name, ma'am? Archana. Clap for Archana ji. And please clap for yourself. The wolves won't clap for you. They are unique. Yeah, obviously every child is unique.
Actually not clapping.
They are actually not clapping. What's your name, ma'am? Priya. Priya. Please clap. Because you all didn't clap for them when they were on the stage. We did, okay. The Alnars are the wonderful 85% of the world population, and it's an honor to share the stage with you. It was a honor with the wolves as well, huh? Sorry, it's 85. Now comes a very difficult part. Arc and radial. They are only 3% of the world population. Do we have anybody who is an arc and radial? Preetham was an arc. You're arc and Alnar, you stand here. You're an arc. Arc or radial? Anyone having an arc or a radial? See, the brain develops the maximum from the age of 0 to 3. 60% of the brain development happens from the age of 0 to 3. If you look at this vole and Alnar, you will have a delta point. But for an arc, there is no deltas. They are late bloomers. 0 to 8 is the way they see the world. You give maximum exposure at this age, and they are basically the ones who turn the world in their side. There are only 3 to 5% of the world population, arc and radial. So which you could see on it, and initial grooming is very, very important. The more you groom, the more they bloom. That's it. Thanks a lot. Thanks. And this is radial. You keep it, sir. We'll take it. Now we'll skip through the slides. What I would want to tell you is, this is just one facet, the 3% facet of what you are. Once you take the DMIT report, which is a 24-page report which has been created, which will tell you about your analytical, logical, creative aspect, your left and right brain aspect, your learning style. How many learning styles are there? 3, 4. 4? Auditory, visual, kinesthetic, motive, concept. Okay? Especially for the kids between the age of 6th standard to 12th standard, career counseling is what we do. I'll share across the slide to you because I wouldn't want to eat upon Sandeep ji's time. All I'm saying is, I remember, I think we have the Singhanias here. they had selected their next rung of leadership by taking these fingerprints of their principals. Please do take it for yourself. See the report. The proof of the pudding is to eat it. We have got close to 1,300 schools which have been doing this successfully. Career counseling is just one small facet. All of us are sitting out here because of peer or parental pressure in those earlier days. And we have developed ourselves to be out here. But trust me, each one of us is unique in our own way. Like the DNA of the school, which we had just discussed in that particular brilliant marketing panel we had. Let's start with identifying oneself. We understand ourselves, we understand how to handle the ego of others, life becomes so much easy. The cost of this is 5,000 plus GST. It's a 3 days process. We take the fingerprint scan, but obviously the report comes after 3 days. Please do take the scans and allow us to ensure that this particular scans reaches out to you. Do it for the teachers, do it for the parenting, do it for the whole community, and let's create prodigies together. Thanks a lot. You have been a wonderful audience. I'll just play a 2 minutes video of a testimonies played earlier on.
Red in color and sweet in taste. Always remember, eat me every day.
Future together.
Fingerprints reveals a unique understanding of the mind. The results from the test can help educators and parents determine the best approach to teach their students and children, allowing them to learn in their most appropriate style.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Could you please introduce yourself?
My name is Yasmin Pirzada.
I'm Savita Venkat.
Vinayak, I'm the Cambridge representative.
I'm Sachin Sachdeva.
Janet Morris. I'm the director of International Network, part of Cambridge International Examinations.
Ma'am, we had conducted a Brain Wonders test for you, and we had done the counseling for you for the same. What is your experience about the report and the counseling?
I feel had I known it earlier, I would use this knowledge to the best of my experience.
It's a very good program.
I must say that the analysis was spot on. I was extremely happy.
I was stunned.
I think the whole concept of Brain Wonders is very good.
I found it very scientific. I found it very methodical and logical.
The test was actually quite accurate.
The Brain Wonder concept is beautiful concept.
It is wonderful for the children.
It's an amazing and wonderful experience for me. Very finely scripted and clear and concise.
I think it will be really a great help to the parents and to us.
It looks very impressive.
We get to know what are the characteristics of these students. We come to know what are their strengths. And the best part is that you can then help the students to develop the areas which need the developments. Would you, as an educationist, like to recommend this for the students? Yes, definitely.
Happy to say that students will learn a lot more aspects about themselves when they do your analysis.
Yes, of course. I'm looking forward that all the school children should be encouraged in this line so that parents know and educators, as educators, we know what best we can do for them.
I would be recommending it to people. I would recommend it even to my own family members who are not a part of the school.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I would definitely. Yes, I would be recommending this concept to all schools. In fact, a lot of myths are going to clarify.
To learn more about DMIT and Brain Wonders,
Thanks a lot. You have survived the pandemic. I think God has a lot of things to do with you. Please clap for yourself.
Louder round of applause. I would like to call Dr. S.K. Rathorji to please join us on the stage and award the felicitation Manisha for his amazing presentation. A huge round of applause, please. Right, so we're just one final session away before the esteemed principal of the year 2022. Before we do that, what separates us is one of the most intriguing technology that you would be seeing today. You know, when I witnessed it for the first time, my jaws dropped dead. Welcoming Mr. Sahil from Learning Buddy. A huge round of applause.
Thank you, Sandeep sir, for your kind words. Hi, everyone. I hope you're doing well. My name is Sahil Sethi. I'm the founder and the CEO of the Learning Buddy. We at Learning Buddy are not only changing the way how students learn, but also how teachers teach. We are transforming the way how students learn, play, and connect with the world around them with the help of augmented reality technology. It is also called AR. So, in simpler words, we augment the school's curriculum digitally and bring it live in the classrooms and at home for students to experience and learn. So, I would like to showcase the programs that we have. So, basically, we've got two programs. The first being an in-school program where we set up an AR classroom in your school and integrate the AR application on your current smart boards with the AR-powered learning management system. The teachers can use this to teach the kids and make their lives a lot easier with the interactive videos and games. Students can experience the magic of AR and practice the curriculum right on the existing smart boards. The second part of the program allows students to get an AR Pictionary, also called AR Books, and use the application at the comfort of their homes, also helping the parents to use the same technology to teach their children at home. This way, the school and the parents are always in sync. So now I would like to play a video where I would like to showcase of how the old school curriculums work and how the new classroom with the AR Learning Buddy would actually work. So this is a video where you can see how the old school technology was actually used in schools where we had simpler technology where the students could come on the board, see, play, learn. Although this is actually very good, but what we're actually bringing is magical. So this would actually showcase the old school and I would like to say absolute technology, and this is actually with the Learning Buddy.
Heart, bones, or eyes. A jellyfish is not a fish.
You could see the difference yourself, how happy and excited the kids were. Learning takes place when the kids are happy, and that is what we do. In addition to AR, we've also got some learning videos and activities. I would also like to give you a demo of that. So these are some basic videos that I would like to showcase. So this section is the basic LMS, the complete learning management system. On top of that, we've got the magic of AR. So we've got the complete curriculum for the pre-primary kids, and this caters to your complete needs. In addition to that, augmented reality takes the cake and makes the teaching and the studying experience even better. So this is our content library. We're covering the complete themes available in the pre-primary sector, as I've already said. Now to the main part of the event, the live AR experience. I would ask my colleague, Mr. Navdeep Singh, to go to each one of you and showcase how the magic of AR actually works.
Apple. I am an apple. Red in color and sweet in taste. Always remember, eat me every day to keep the doctor away. Aeroplane. I am an aeroplane. I am air transport. I have wings and I fly in sky. I am the fastest means of transport. Ball. I am a ball. I am a toy round in shape. I come in different colors. You can play with me in the park. Butterfly. I am a butterfly. I have colorful wings and 6 legs. I flutter in air.
Right, guys, I can see how happy you are.
Ball.
Imagine your students using
I
this.
am a ball. I am a
Imagine your students using this technology at their schools, at your schools, I beg your pardon, and at home as well. How happy they will be, and how much it could actually help them in learning new concepts. And also, we're taking your pictures as well. We'll try and share it with you guys. Right, so content digitization, right? One concern I see coming from you guys is basically the screen time. Kids are not tech savvy themselves. They want to learn everything digitally with the advent of phones and pads and basically whatnot. But technology is actually here to stay. The new gen schools cannot run away from technology, especially after the COVID-19 fiasco, right? You cannot remove screen time altogether. That is why we want to make it as effective as possible. The Learning Buddy introduces the curriculum in a way that makes it interactive and entertaining for them. According to a recent study of all the information transmitted to the team, to the brain, 90% is visual as opposed to text. Visuals are processed 60,000 times faster. And when the visuals are real augmented elements, you can imagine that it could take it to the next level. So coming to our biggest collaborations, I'll talk about the international ones that we've done so far. So we've partnered with a school called MSODT, Montessori School of Downtown. And this is what we're doing with them. We're giving them a customized box. And this is also powered by our own AR technology. And this basically caters towards the Montessori curriculum.
Go on a wonderful learning adventure brought to life in AR. In collaboration with the Learning Buddy, we introduce the Montessori School of Downtown's Augmented Reality Virtual Learning Box. Transform how you learn, play, and connect with the world around you through critical thinking, reading comprehension, and creative activities. This AR virtual learning box comes with 8 different books with themes such as Animal Kingdom, space, monuments, helpers, and dinosaurs. All you have to do is download the free app on Google Play or Apple App Store, scan the book, and watch everything come to life. Bring the magic of adventure.
So this was done with them. Coming to our biggest collaboration in India.
Cat is a small carnivorous mammal. It hunts.
We partnered with one of the biggest preschool chains in India, Sanford Group of Schools. We're catering towards them, and this is a demo of how their app works. So we've transformed their books into AR-powered books. Whatever the kids basically use at home, the same books can be now used at home with our application, and similarly, this can be used at their own schools as well. So on the schools, you can actually cast the application on the existing smart boards, as well as you can cast it at homes. So this way, the same books can be used to demonstrate the AR technology and use the complete AR curriculum. Post this, I would like to showcase a testimonial video from the MD of Sanford Group of Schools and our esteemed mentor. He's been really helpful so far with us, and he's been helping us throughout. And I would like to showcase that video as well.
I am S.K. Rathore, founder, chairman, and managing director of Sanford Group of Schools. So today I am going to speak about Sanford AR curriculum, SanMeta. See what SanMeta is. SanMeta is our own curriculum, what we say is core value circle, powered by AR app of Learning Buddy. Basically, this app has made every object in our curriculum live in the classroom itself. So children learn a lot and enjoy like anything. And I'm just wanted to say the parents are appreciating this app so much. So I just wanted to conclude this is the app which is going to change the learning style in the preschool space.
Right. So coming to the next slide, we talk about our mission. So the mission of the learning technology to the schools in Pan India, and we would like to use it, and would like all the schools to use it, and then can only be achieved in one way, by making it affordable. How affordable, you ask? Before that, I would like to showcase a little few things. Give me a second. Right. So how does it work? If you think the AR technology was good, and if you think our application is good, let me bring the even better news for you. So the AR classroom is actually free for the schools. You heard it right. It is completely free of cost for the schools. No hidden charges. The application at schools can also, at home, I beg your pardon, can be used by the kids. And that application will be free for like a month or so. And post that, we'll have basically a minimal kind of charges. But at the schools, it is completely free of cost. The Learning Buddy believes education should be affordable and accessible. Our aim is to implement this in each and every school pan-India. No student should be left behind. Everyone should get a chance to learn and grow with the AI technology. Get this technology in your schools now. That was all from my side. If you wish to get in touch with us, you can reach out to us on this number or visit our website. Thank you for a wonderful time, guys. You were a wonderful audience. It was a pleasure. I look forward to implementing this at your schools. Thank you so much.
Can we have a huge round of applause? Sir, please join us back on the stage. I would request Dr. S.K. Rathore, who's also the mentor, to please felicitate Mr. Sahil from the Learning Buddy. A huge round of applause. Thank you so much. Dr. Rathore, I would request you to please join us. We have a couple of awards to be given away to our esteemed awardees. giving away the amazing award, Excellence in Leadership in Education, Professor Dr. B. Sendil Kumar. Do we have Sendil sir here? A huge round of applause. Next up is Ms. Zeba Ayaz, and we are awarding her with Shiksha Gaurav Puraskar. A huge round of applause for Ms. Zeba Ayaz, a prominent educationist from Rabia Girls School. The next award is for innovation in STEAM education. St. Thomas School, Dwarka. A huge round of applause, please. I would also request Mr. Manish Naidu to join on the stage to give away this award. Thank you, Dr. Rathore. Thank you for joining us. So, bas ho gaya na event? So, are you ready? No, 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 no. I asked, are you ready? नहीं नहीं, I don't think. नहीं, इतना ठंडा ready तो नहीं चलेगा. One last time, I want you to shout on the top of your voices. I'll tell you why. Because there has been recognitions for institutions. You know, there have been recognitions in terms of excellence in education. But nobody has been called a principal of the year. More than 1,500 forms we received in the span of 6 months. And out of those, 150 of them were shortlisted. So, किसी और के लिए नहीं. If you're here, that means you're amongst those 10% of the people that were selected for the prestigious Principal of the Year 2022. It's a bragging right that you're the top educator in the country. So, are you ready? Very nice. Now, I'll take your leave because this award will be hosted by my very, very good friend, Mr. Farhan Khan, and he heads the e-governance vertical. A huge round of applause for Mr. Farhan, for Mr. Fahim Haq, for Mr. Fahim Haq, sorry, Fahim Haq.
I would like Mr. Manish Naidu to come on stage. Manish sir, please come on stage. And here we start. The first award is Renu Rathore, Principal, Rockwood International School, Udaipur. Miss Meeta Chaturvedi, Principal, the Scindia School. Miss Meeta Chaturvedi, Principal, the Scindia School. Dr. Neeru Joshi, Principal, Bal Bari Public School, Modi Nagar. Dr. Neeru Joshi, is she here? Dr. Neeru Joshi. Okay, she's here.
Ela bebe, fica alegre, essa é minha amiga Fran. Ela gosta de curtir, papai liada de manhã. Ela bebe, fica alegre, essa é minha amiga Fran.
Next one is Ginny Talwar, Principal, Baba Isher Singh, Senior Secondary Public School, Ludhiana. Ginny Talwar.
A minha amiga Fran desce com o dedinho na boca, louca, 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 louca. A minha amiga Fran desce com o dedinho na boca.
Os descarados.
Miss Meneka Singh, Principal, St. Thomas School, Dwarka. Miss Meneka Singh, Principal, St. Thomas School, Dwarka.
No pagode, no baile funk, que ela desce rebolando com seu jeito instigante. É no pagode.
Shilpa Indoria, Principal, GD Goenka International School, Surat, Gujarat. Shilpa Indoria, Principal, GD Goenka International School, Surat.
Desce com o dedinho na boca, louca, 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 louca. A minha amiga Fran desce com o dedinho na boca, louca, 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 louca.
Bela Murthy, Principal, Trio World School, Bangalore. Bela Murthy, Principal, the World School, Bangalore. Dr. Manisha Sharma, Principal, Venkateshwar International School. Pooja Madan, Principal, Indus Valley Public School, Lucknow. Pooja Madan, Indus Valley School, Lucknow. Mrs. Anahita C. Landers, Principal, Avalon Heights International School, Vashi, Navi Mumbai.
We would now also like to invite Mr. Mikin from Logikits to join us on the stage to felicitate a few of the principals alongside Manish Naidu ji.
Dr. Shushma, Principal, Oasis Global School, Haryana. Miss Sonia Nagpal, Principal, Gitanjali Vedika, Gitanjali Group of Schools, Hyderabad. Miss Sonika Nagpal, Principal, Gitanjali Vedika, Gitanjali Group of Schools, Hyderabad. Dr. Narendra, Principal, Vijay's College of Pharmacy, Andhra Pradesh. Dr. Spriti, Principal, Ryan Tatva Kengari, managed by Ryan International School. Can we please make it fast? R.D. Sharma, Principal, Delhi Public School, Asansol, West Bengal. Mr. R.D. Sharma. Dr. Jagrup Singh, Principal, Meher Chand Polytechnic College, Jalandhar. Dr. Jagrup Singh.
How many of you believe in karma? I think if you clap for yourself, the world will clap for you. Please keep clapping, please.
Clapping is also good for your heart. Dr. Suchitra Bhattacharya, Principal, Manav Rachna International School, Chamwood. Bela Murthy, Principal, Trier World School, Bangalore. Bela Murthy, Principal, Trier World School, Bangalore. Pratima Nair, Principal. Pratima Nair. Sagarika Bakshi, Principal, AAR Jain Model Senior Secondary School, Darabasi, Punjab. Ravinder Kumar, Principal, Eaglewings Kids Preschool. Ravinder Kumar. Ravinder Pal Kaur Birdi, Principal, Shri Mahaprabhu Public School, Uttar Pradesh. Ravinder Pal Kaur Birdi. Jayanti Nair, Principal, National Public School, Banashankari, Bangalore. Jayanti Nair. I would also like to invite Mr. Kamal Gupta, who is Director Education Sales, Shop Say, on stage to give away the awards. Please join us, sir. Rita Chaudhary, Principal, Saman Vidya Mandir Secondary School. Rita Chaudhary. Dr. Gurmeet Kaur Gill, Principal, Dashmesh Nursery School, Punjab. Dr. Gurmeet Kaur Gill, Jayashri J. Iyer, Principal, Chinmay International Vidyalaya. Harbhajan Singh, Principal, Shahid Bhagat Singh Memorial School, Punjab. Raleigh Tripathi, Principal, City International School, Lucknow. Raleigh Tripathi. Rohit Dua, Principal, Little Flowers Public School. Mr. Rohit. Rohit Dua. Pramoda Menon, Principal, Vilamal Vidyashram, Thiruvannamalai. Which one? Rohit, this one. That's a boy. That's a... Wrong one. Nita Dua, Principal, Little Flowers Public Senior Secondary School. Pramoda Menon, Principal, Vilamal Vidyashram. Pramoda Menon. Sudhanshu Shekhar, Principal, Kale International School. Rana Khan, Principal, Span International Academy, Pune. Robert Rathinam. Robert Rathinam, Principal, Samir World School, Baramati, Maharashtra. Robert Rathinam. I would like to invite Mr. Achin Kapoor, who is Regional Head Eduweight, on stage to join and give away the awards. Dr. Gaurav Sachar, Principal, Baba Shravan Nath Senior Model School. I think so we should start, we should keep on clapping for each and everyone. Professor Dr. Rachita Rana, Principal, Maharaja Surajmal Institute. Dr. Rachita Rana, Rajesh R. Pillai, Principal, Savitri Bai Phule School of Nursing, Maharashtra. Mr. Rajesh Pillai. Rupal Pandya, Principal, Alliance The School, Delhi. Rupal Pandya. Reena Panta, Principal, Delhi World Public School, Kandaghat, Himachal Pradesh. Nidhi Gandhi, Principal Nidhi Gandhi, GSSS, Kotsunva. Ms. Nidhi Gandhi. Nidhi Gandhi. Jyoti Pandey, Principal, KBNO2, AFS, Hindad. Jyoti Pandey. Dr. Maruti Shivaram Mane, Principal, College of Education, Naigaon. Ms. Rashmi Gupta, Principal, DAV Public School. Ritu Mehta, Principal, Saroj Mehta International School, Ratnagiri. Ritu Mehta. Arvind Srivastava, Principal, Sai Public School. Mr. Arvind Srivastava. Archana Chaudhary, Principal, Wisdom International School, Ghaziabad. I would also like to invite Dr. Brijesh Karia, who is the CEO of Singhani Education Services, to come on stage to give away the awards. Dr. Brijesh, if you can join. Pramod Kumar Yadav, Principal, Maharishi Vidya Mandir. Pramod Kumar Yadav. Sheba Thapar, Principal, Sacred Step Experimental Learning School, Gurugram. Anisha Sharma, Principal, Delhi Public School, Siliguri. SP Suresh, Principal, Shiksha Valley School, Dibrugarh, Assam. SP Suresh. Mrs. Chitra Bajpai, Principal, Shri Chandra Public Inter College, Hardoi, Uttar Pradesh. Ms. Shivani Sahani, Principal, HRM Global School. Ms. Shivani Sahani, Principal, HRM Global School.
Taruna Kapoor, Principal, GT Goenka International School, Surat, Gujarat. Dr. Indu Singh, Principal, GSSS, Makrawali, Rohtak, Haryana. Dr. Indu Singh. Dr. Indu Singh, Principal, GSSS, Makrawali, Rohtak, Haryana. Dinesh Singh, Principal, Darshan Academy, Senior Secondary School, Jalandhar. Dinesh Singh, Principal, Darshan Academy, Senior Secondary School, Jalandhar. Dr. Bhavna Jibbar, Principal, Laburnum Principal School, Gurugram. Dr. Parveen Kukreja, Principal, Shamport Futuristic School, Agra. Dr. Surina Sharma, Principal, Divya Shiksha Gurukul College of Education. Dr. Niti C. Kaushik, Principal, Mount Olympus School, Gurugram. Dr. Rita Saxena, Principal, Scholar Mission School. Dr. Rita Saxena. P. Anil Kumar, Principal, Chinmaya Vidyalaya, Tarapur, Maharashtra. P. Anil Kumar. Nishu Pandey, Venkateshwar International School, Dwarka, Gujarat. S.K. Singh, Principal, Delhi Ward Public School, UP. S.K. Singh, Principal, Delhi Ward School, Delhi Ward Public School. Dr. R.P. Dua Kapoor, Principal, Soroban One Step Education. Dr. R.P. Dua. Dr. John Abraham, Principal, State School of State Group of Schools, Tamil Nadu. Dr. John Abraham. Dr. Krishan Pal Singh, Principal, Janta Institute of Veterinary Sciences, Bhutana. Dr. Krishan Pal Singh. Ms. Ritu Agarwal, Principal, Abhinav Public School, Delhi. Ms. Ritu Agarwal, Principal, Abhinav Public School. Dr. Priyanka Mehta, Principal, Sarvottam International School, Greater Noida. Dr. Paramjit Singh, Principal, Army Public School, Ambala, Kent. Milan Kaloskar, Principal, Delhi Ward Public School, Gujarat. Alka Sahani, Principal, Maharaja Agrisan Public School, Pitampura, New Delhi. Alka Sahani. Supreet Kaur, Principal, Saibot School. Hanamesh Dudyal, Principal, Kalpavarukka Modern School, Karnataka. Hanamesh Dudyal. Dr. Ramma Mattu, Principal, Army Public School, Mathura, Kent. Dr. Munmun Nath, Principal, BPIT Public School. Vaishali Solani, Principal, Edify Word School, Kurnool. Vaishali Solani. Saloni, sorry. Deep Bedi, Principal, Mount Litera Z School, Karnal.
Prakash Nair, Principal, Nanda Central City School, Tamil Nadu. Prakash Nair.
Congratulations to all the dear and esteemed principals. Come on, कभी कभी तो अपने लिए भी एक पीठ पे pat होना चाहिए ना, तो come on, let's do a pat. Come on, let's give a standing ovation to all the esteemed leaders. Can we all stand up, please? And a round of applause for all the esteemed principals, for the management of Eduleaders Summit. I think एक बार सब अपने अपने हाथों से पीठ पे पैट तो कर लें, किसी ने तो करना नहीं है, तो हम ही कर लें. So a round of applause for everyone and congratulations to everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Dr. Amrita Vora, Principal, GEMS International School, Gurgaon. Dr. Amrita Vora. Vipin Kumar Tyagi, Principal, KV, number 1, Uttarakhand. Vipin Kumar Tyagi. Virat V. Giri, Principal, Sanjay Godawat Polytechnic. Virat V. Giri. Dr. Nitin Lakshman Gorpade, Principal, Babu Raoji Golab College, Sangvi, Pune. Miss Alka Kapoor, Principal, Modern Public School, Shalimar Bagh, Delhi. Miss Alka Kapoor. Miss Alka Singh, Principal, Bluebells Model School, Gurgaon. Miss Alka Singh. Rudra Pratap Sahu, Principal, Vikas Higher Secondary School. Mr. Rudra Pratap Sahu. Dr. Gurmeet Kaur Gill, Principal, Dashmesh Nursery School, Punjab. Sarama Jacob, Principal. Sarama Jacob. Sarama Jacob. Arvind Srivastava, Principal, Sai Public School. Mr. Arvind Srivastava. Oh, it's already done, I think so it's twice. Himal Handu Bhatt, Principal, Hansraj Model School, Panjabi Bagh. Himal Handu Bhatt. Niru Mehtani, Principal, St. Kabir School, Hisar. Niru Mehtani. Aditi Sharma, Principal, City Montessori School, Lucknow. Aditi Sharma. Avanindra Singh Gangwar, Principal, Delhi Public School, Jharkhand. Avindra Singh Gangwar. Miss Archana Narayan, Principal, the Indian Heights School, Dwarka. Archana Narayan. Is Miss Archana Narayan here? Deepti Sharma, Principal, Pragyan Public School, Jewar. Mona Lisa Das, Principal. Mona Lisa Das. Mona Lisa Das. Dr. Manisha Sahani, Principal, Delhi World Public School, Zirakpur, Punjab. Dr. Asif Hussain Sheikh, Principal, Matoshri Global School, Junior College, Ahmednagar, Maharashtra. Dr. Asif Hussain Sheikh. Dr. M.S. Vashisht, Principal, St. Bridge Mohanlal Senior Secondary School, Faridabad. Dr. M.S. Vashisht. Dr. Ragini Kaul, Principal, Max Ford School, Paschim Bihar. Dr. Ragini Kaul. Dr. Ragini Kaul. Miss Jyoti Dahiya, Principal, DAV Public School. Miss Jyoti Dahiya. Miss Jyoti Dahiya. Miss Mamta Sabarwal, Principal, Darshan Academy. Mamta Sabarwal, Principal, Darshan Academy. Miss Manju Chaudhary, Principal, Arya Kanya Gurukul, Karnal. Manju Chaudhary. Kim O'Noble, Principal, Turnbridge High School, Bangalore. Dr. Amol Shashikant Shah, Principal, Sitabai Thite, College of Pharmacy. Dr. Amol Shashikant Shah. Dr. Anju Mehrotra, Principal, Kalka Public School, Alaknanda, New Delhi. Dr. Anju. Sri Rekha Prasad, Principal, Siddhartha Central School, Palimon, Kollam. I would like to invite Mr. Sandeep Soni on stage to give away the award. Poonam Saxena, Principal, Scholars Global School. Poonam Saxena. Dr. Sangeeta Arora, Principal, Kothari International School, Noida. Dr. Sangeeta Arora. Ruchika Rana, Principal, MR Global School. Ruchika Rana. Bela Murthy, Principal, Trio World School, Bangalore. Bela Murthy. Krishna Mishra, Principal, SRS International School, Greater Faridabad. Satyendra Singh, Principal, C.H. Kundan Singh Inter College, Bagpat. Sanjay Agarwal, Principal, Maharaja Agrasen Public School, Ludhiana. Mr. Sanjay Agarwal. Miss Neelu Sharma, Principal, Imperial Heritage School, Gurugram. Miss Neelu Sharma. Dr. Vihuto Asumi, Principal, Emmanuel High Secondary School, Zuneboto, Nagaland. I think so. The clapping should not stop. Miss Sashmita Mohanty, Principal, Sanjay Godawat International School. Sashmita Mohan. Dinesh Singh, Principal, Darshan Academy, Senior Secondary School, Jalandhar. Mr. Dinesh Singh. Pia Sharma, Principal, Rayan International School, Sona Road, Gurugram. Dr. Parveen Kukreja, Principal, Shemwood Futuristic School, Agra. Dr. Parveen Kukreja. Alok Goyal, Principal, DS Inter College, Lakhimpur Kheri, UP. Virat V. Giri, Principal, Sanjay Godawat Polytechnic. Mr. Virat V. Giri. Vipin Kumar Tyagi, Principal, Kendriya Vidyalaya, Uttarakhand. Vipin Kumar Tyagi. Suruchi Gandhi, Principal, Bal Bharati Public School, Dwarka. Suruchi Gandhi. Dr. Archana Arora, Principal, Mount Abu Public School, Rohini. Dr. Archana Arora. Dr. Archana Srivastava, Principal, East Point School, Delhi. Dr. Archana Srivastava. Carolina Vaz, Principal, Green Lawns High School, Mumbai. Caroline Vaz. Dr. Neeta Kohli, Principal, Dr. Neeta Kohli, Delhi City School. Dr. Neeta Kohli. Neeta Bali, Principal, GSS, Kotsunwa. Neeta Bali. Anita Singh Rana, Principal, the Trinity Principal, Bahadurgarh. Poonam Kochiti, Principal, Sheikh Anandram Jaipuria School, Lucknow. Poonam, ma'am. Mrs. Aditi Sharma, Principal, City Montessori Inter College, Chowk, Hardoi Road, Lucknow. Mrs. Aditi Sharma. Dr. Ruchi Sharma, Principal, the Hazel Moon School. Dr. Ruchi Sharma. Shilpa Indoria, Principal, GD Goenka International School, Surat, Gujarat. Shilpa Indoria. Radhika Nair. Radhika Nair. Mrs. Anvita Gupta, Principal, Sancta Maria International School, Faridabad. Mrs. Anvita Gupta. Mrs. Rosie Ahuja, Principal, Academic Heights Public School, Rohtak. Shefali Gupta, Principal, Tego International School, Delhi. Shefali Gupta. Caroline Vaz, Principal, Green Lawns High School, Mumbai. Caroline Vaz. Adesh Singh, Principals, the Aryans, Amroha. Vandana Baberwal, Principal, Balwantri Mehta Vidya Bhavan, Anguri Devi Sher Singh Memorial Academy. Vandana Baberwal. Vibha Khosla, Principal Shriram Global School, Delhi. Victor Viraya Tamuluri, Principal Sri Sarda Niketan Public School, Andhra Pradesh. Thompson Kinu. Thompson Kinu. Thompson Kinu, St. John's Public School. Dr. Kavita Jakir, Principal, Army Public School, Hisar. Dr. Kavita Jakir. Padma Srinivasan, Principal, Delhi Public School, R.K. Puram. Padma Srinivasan. Padma Srinivasan. Bindu Gupta, Principal, Sahaj International School, Ghaziabad, Uttar Pradesh. Anju Badwar, Principal, Bharat Ram Global School, Haryana. Anju Badwar. Trevor Ronald Brown, Principal, Delhi World Public School, Jodhpur, Rajasthan. Dr. Raji N. Kumar, Principal, N.K. Bagrodia Public School. Dr. Raji N. Kumar. Dr. Kavita Jakir. Mrs. Sujata Gupta, Principal, MCD Coed Primary School, Janakpuri. Mrs. Sujata Gupta. Sujata Gupta. Mrinalini Singh, Principal, Yadu Public School, Noida. Mrinalini Singh. Baljit Oberoi, Principal, Oak Ridge International School, Bachupalli, Hyderabad. Baljit Oberoi. Tilak Raj Sharma, Principal, GSSS Pairi, Mandi, Himachal Pradesh. Tilak Raj Sharma. हाथ नहीं रुकने चाहिए, बचते रहने चाहिए. Sri Rekha Prasad, Principal Siddhartha Central School, Palimon, Kerala. Sri Rekha Prasad. Dr. M.K. Bhan, Principal, International Delhi Public School, Sofian, Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir. Dr. Archana Mishra, Principal, Navrachana Vidyani Vidyalaya, Gujarat. Dr. Archana Mishra. Minakshi Zarab, Principal Minakshi Zarab, ASPM, Scottish School. Minakshi Zarab. Anyone taking it from Minakshi Zarab? No one. Vikas Saxena, Principal, Balaji Private Industrial Training Institute, Uttar Pradesh. Raleigh Tripathi, Principal, City International School, Lucknow. Raleigh Tripathi. Veena Gaur, Principal, Veena Gaur, Vibgyor High School. Veena Gaur. Robert Ratinam, Principal, Samir World School, Baramati, Maharashtra. Pramoda Menon, Principal, Velammal Vidyashram, Trivandrum. Hanemesh Dodial, Principal, Kalpavruksha Model School, Karnataka. Poonam Pashricha, Principal, MM Public School, Karnal. Poonam. Bhola Dutt Kashyap, Principal, GSSS, Barari Sajao, Piplu, Mandi, Himachal Pradesh. Nidhi Gandhi, Principal, Nidhi Gandhi, GSSS, Kotsunba. Nidhi Gandhi. Kaushiki Sondi, Principal, Holy Public School, Agra. Dr. Aarti Dua Kapoor, Principal, Soreban One Step Education. Dr. Aarti Dua. Jyoti Pandey, Principal, KV number 2, AFS, Hindon. Jyoti Pandey. Dr. Paranjit Singh, Principal, Army Public School, Ambala, Kent. Dr. Dipali Singh, Principal, White Canvas Preschool, Greater Noida. Dr. Dipali Singh. Dr. Neeraj Avasti, Principal, Modern School, Noida. Neeraj Avasti. Dr. Parveen Kukreja, Principal, Shemford Futuristic School, Agra. Kalpana Garg, Principal, Little Pearls Play School. Kalpana Garg. Dr. Manoj Kumar, Principal, St. George, St. Gregorius School, Dwarka. Dr. Manoj Kumar.
A huge round of applause. Thank you so much, Manish sir, for your presence. Now, I would like to call on the dais Ms. Anu Monga to join us. And we are presenting a very special award. It is the Doctorate of Education Specialization in Leadership to Dr. Brijesh Karya. It's an honorary doctorate provided to Dr. Brijesh Karya, will be presided by Ms. Anu Monga. I request